You got it? Hey guys, DMS here today. We are talking about the Post Malone album that just came out, Hollywood is Bleeding. But I'll show this off real quick. Just was at Rocky Mountain Audio Fest. These videos come out on a little bit of a delay, but this is a new closed back Verte, and there's going to be a review on it, so you should totally check that out. Zach sent these over. I'm going to send it to Z. Z sent it to Josh. It's going to go all around. So stick around, subscribe. Video will be on Patreon early. We listened to this album on the trusty old Vandersteens that we've used a few times before, and we took some notes.
Lots of notes.
Lots of notes. We've listened to a lot of Post Malone in the past. Where do you want to start with this? Let's start with the first track. I think the first track was actually one of the strongest ones on this album.
And it was like, it was very posty, if that is an adjective.
He knows now that vibrato he does is a super strong point for him.
Well, and when it matches up with the guitar, specifically now that he's moved more towards, I feel like, a rock, pop, country kind of sound.
Yeah.
It fits with his voice perfect.
It really does. So he's really leveraging that sound to his advantage, and I think it works pretty well. This track talks a lot about death in Hollywood and dying young.
We're actually talking about that it was released the day before Mac Miller's death date.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting, and just the premise in general of the song being that Hollywood is bleeding. It's not necessarily, I don't feel that like the city itself, it might be, but it's also just talking about its inhabitants and the people that live there.
Yeah.
And that kind of keeping up with the Joneses mentality that I feel like is way more prevalent on the West Coast.
Yeah, one of the lines particularly was, it seems like it seems like dying young is an honor, but who will be at my funeral, I wonder.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so
I mean,
sad.
that's something like we really have to think about these days, like especially in Hollywood. There's so many things going on with like drug abuse, people getting shot, all kinds of stuff.
Well, and like just like the mental state that
Yeah.
I feel like comes along with that, very competitive nature and kind of people just like stabbing each other in the back.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on these days that make it really tough for... I know it sounds dumb to say, like, it's tough for artists, but it is, honestly.
Well, I mean, misery makes for great art.
Yeah, that's true, and there's a lot of good art coming out. Moving on from that, that starred for me as one of the strongest points in this album. Moving on from there, this one felt a little bit more cliche.
The second song,
Yeah.
and I know this is a buzzword we use a lot, but it was very trite.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I put was... I wish there was more depth in the lyrics because the production, because of all the reverb and different effects that he puts on his voice, it has that depth to the sound. But I feel like this one was overly trite, very purposefully.
The second and the third song, same feeling for both of those.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, it was not as interesting. It's also hard for me to be mad at Post, though, because he's such a good singer.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, you're such a good singer, but this is the same story I've heard a million times, and it's not being told in an interesting way.
Well, and I hate when people try and juxtapose him as a culture vulture because I feel like it's not a vulture mentality. I feel like it's something that's a huge influence of his and the type of music that he enjoys a lot. One of the things that I put, love DaBaby, think he's a great rapper, but at the same time I feel like this could have done without it. Like most of the rappers.
Yeah, which song was he on? Number 8.
It was number 3, DaBaby. That was The Baby.
Oh,
or
okay.
Lil
Number
Baby.
8 had
I'm
Lil
sorry.
Baby on it. I'll get back to that one in a minute. I had some notes on that.
Yeah.
The song after this, number 4, that was a straight rip. What was that song?
Elton John, Crocodile Rock. Just the melody. It's not like the lyrics, but it's just...
But it was like blatant as hell.
Super blatant.
We heard that, we were like, what is happening?
Going on?
Yeah, I felt weird about that. I don't have a lot of opinion on that song other than that made me feel really weird. And it was distracting.
My take on that was and Absol did a whole album about it, but everything's been done before, and I feel like it's just repackaged, sorry for the stumble, rebranded, and then bastardized. Which, like... Again, not hate on Post.
That's kind of what you do with pop, though, and Post is kind of becoming pop with a lot of this album.
And I feel like for the better, honestly. Like,
in some ways.
In some ways. There are some shortcomings, but I feel like most of it was... It feels very intentional, and it doesn't seem like it's too forced. Like, the rap stuff seemed kind of forced.
The song after that, number 6. that was a direction where it was good. That number 6 was straight up a pop country song.
Okay, number 6 reminds me of Sheryl Crow, and like I can just tell by listening to it, his mom used to play Sheryl Crow for him all the time. And if not, and I'm wrong on that, I think at an award show either this year or next year, they need to have Sheryl Crow sing everything that Post sings, have Post on background vocals and playing acoustic. It would be beautiful.
Yeah, that would actually be amazing.
I would love that.
Geek out over that, man.
That would be the coolest they always do crossovers. Like they did the Justin Timberlake, Chris Stapleton thing. Like Sheryl Crow, Post Malone, think about it.
Yeah. And actually on the song after that, this kind of goes back to more of a hip-hop theme. And this song had Halsey on it. And the part where Post and Halsey are singing together.
Yeah.
I didn't feel as strongly about the song. The lyrical content was interesting. A song about someone lying to him and hurting his feelings. That sucks. It happens a lot in his songs.
Yeah.
It's kind of Post's thing, but it works for him. But when Post and Halsey were singing together on the last hook, it really brought this song together.
And Future was singing with them as well. And I thought that was really cool when their voices all meshed together, because she's got the high register, he's a very strong mid-range, and then you've got Future on the low end. I finished that song and was like, okay, Future, Post, you need to do a collab EP and leave Halsey out of this.
Yeah, I feel like they could work in separate environments.
Yeah, for sure.
I liked the song after that. It felt a lot like old Post. His lyrics were very sharp and articulated, lots of really on the beat.
It's just cadences, and that's the cool thing when he does transition more into those rap songs. But on this project, I really, and we'll get to them, but there are 2 rappers on this project that I feel like were necessary for the project.
Yes.
The rest of them, love all of the rappers.
Yeah.
But on the song, it would separate them. It felt like it was very, very divided.
This track especially, because this is the one that had Meek and Lil Baby on it, and Meek just sounded offbeat the whole time.
Yeah.
And Lil Baby sounded like he was recording on an Xbox mic.
And I think that's just like the mixing that they had. It was, you would go from this very fluid, very intentionally messy, like a beautiful mess kind of with all the background vocals and effects going on, and then it would go to a very dry mix on the rapper's vocals, which was weird to me.
There's a lot of juxtaposition between Post Malone and the other lyricists on this track.
Yeah.
And as a result, they're not bad individually, but they didn't belong on this track as well. And his talent just completely dwarfed theirs in this context.
And that's why we stress the term lyricist, because they are definitely great artists, great lyricists, but
in the context,
it was not. I just wasn't a fan.
Yeah, in the context, it was like they would do a verse, and then Post would come in on the chorus, and it would be like, damn, Post is good. I mean, it made him look great.
I also, on that song specifically, I thought it was interesting because I think it was a really funny way to just, again, a juxtaposition of Hollywood is bleeding. I think putting the certain features on it and like having these certain rappers on it, it made it seem very scattered, and it didn't make for the best songs. But I feel like exploiting the names and the features that he had on the project, is that like his funny way of paradoxically being like, Hollywood's bleeding.
Yeah. Then we got number 9, which is probably the best song on the album.
Hands down.
This is Post Malone, Ozzy, and Travis Scott all together in a song.
And I don't care what anyone says. After hearing that, Ozzy is God. And if Ozzy is God, then Travis Scott is Jesus.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of rappers could not pull off working with this style of music. And Travis Scott nailed his verse perfectly. And if anything, that gave me a lot more respect for Travis because it showed his versatility.
And this time, like, I always make this comment when Travis is involved with something, you can hear where Travis just kind of takes the shine. And this is the first time where I feel like everyone was in their own element and it wasn't you being inside Travis's world.
Yeah.
It was a perfect meld of all three of their
They were
styles.
all on the same train.
So, yeah, the craziest train.
The craziest train, exactly. And there was a guitar solo in this with a hip-hop beat behind it, and it was so cool. And we were sitting here like, is that Post or is that Ozzy?
And I need everyone to let us know if you know the answer to that question. I need to know who's playing guitar.
Because genuinely, Post is great at guitar. So that alone, this is the best song on the album. Number 9, best song on the album. If you just want to listen to one song on this album, listen to song number 9. There's more good stuff on here, but that was like, I really hope that influences more stuff in the industry, because that was perfect, man.
It would be a great trajectory for things, because it was the perfect storm. It was the perfect storm.
And unfortunately, after that, the next song did not hold up. After that, because that's the one I wrote. This feels like a Taylor Swift song.
All I said was, then this song, I don't like it. But I can still bob the whole album, whether I like the song or not. I would look down and I'm either bouncing my knee or bobbing my head.
Yeah.
And I could have not liked the song at all.
There wasn't a time where it was just like, wow, this sucks. But there were times where it was like, there were some songs that stood out a lot of the others.
Just kind of missed.
Yeah.
Just missed a little bit.
Then we had a song with SZA on it. Great artist. She totally nailed it, but it felt kind of like it wasn't either of their styles.
I was just so stoked to hear the true queen, SZA, on another song. And Posty, I know that you just wanted a Love Galore moment, but it's not going to happen again. But SZA, I was super stoked to see you on this album.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out. It did have an abrupt ending.
Yeah,
that was
every song did.
Yeah, a lot of songs had a super abrupt ending on it. This one particularly, but I mean, it wasn't a bad track.
It was a very, like, you know, like in the early 2000s where it would just be like delay, reverb, cut music, and just kind of like, and then the song's over.
Post is living in the early 2000s, man. Then we had Sunflower. Sunflower's great. Everyone's talked about it a million times.
Certified.
If I had to say anything about it, rolled off treble on the beat, lets the vocals shine, and the vocals do exactly what they're meant to.
Yeah, I mean, like you know, we talked about it when we were listening to it. That song's certified. That's
a great song.
RIAA certified and just certified, and it's a great song.
After that, this is the one about the internet, and this is true. He talks about, like, you know, never spend time online. You never see posts on social media really unless it's somebody else holding the camera.
It was really cool because a lot of my critiques or my takeaways from the songs, that one kind of punched it home for me, where it's like, I don't think he's trolling, but at the same time, it's like, here's the reality. The internet, social media is the knife that poked LA and left it all leaky.
Yeah.
Because it's everyone's just trying to be something they're not, or be somebody they're not. I don't live there, have never lived there, I visited, but at the same time,
it's expensive.
Yeah.
My dog is chewing on my foot. If you hear, like, weird noises. So there's that.
Doggo's having a blast.
Yeah. Next song after that, 14, there's another one of those weird bleeps in the beginning.
There was
another one, and it was like this harsh, just like, this weird little, like, blip in the production that just was piercing. And this started that way. It just, in the very beginning, didn't like that. Wasn't good. That hurt. The song itself was all right.
I'm a huge Young Thug fan, and just in general, I feel like he's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
But I mean, him and Travis were the two rappers that I feel like were the best fit for this album if you were to have rappers on it.
It was a catchy song. I like the whole thing. You know, I want you out of my head, I want you out of my bed, this and that and that. That was pretty good. Song after that straight up felt like a Billy Joel song. I felt like Post Malone was covering a Billy Joel song.
But I mean, it was
good.
You can look at his influences and listen to the people that he talks about, and I would not be surprised if Billy Joel is a huge influence of his.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. And then we got two more tracks after that. Number 16, super solid. Lot of build. Doesn't stick straight to the formula. Excellent slow pacing. I wish the song was longer.
That was when I realized with this album that it will be played probably at every party. And it might just be background music.
Yeah.
Everyone's dancing, everyone's bobbing their head. Great pop songs. Yeah, can't complain.
Puck, what are you doing, girl? Do you want attention? Come over here. Lay down, all right? Lay down. Down. Or just stand right here. It's fine. And the last song, Wow, which is the name of the song, and it's also how I feel about the song. I've heard that song so many times. I fucking love this song. Post owning his own style.
I wrote, it's the Christmas song everyone got and didn't know they needed.
G-Wagon, 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 G-Wagon.
G-Wagon.
And that's how I feel about it. This could have been two separate albums. They both would have been great, and they both would have had their own styles. This was a very, very large piece.
I feel like it was a double album. They should have ended with the Ozzy and then maybe done a deluxe edition or something.
Pretty much.
And had the second half of the album. Because the second half was definitely more cohesive with the same thematics and sound.
Yeah.
But the first half, a little bit all over the place. But if you would have ended with the Ozzy Travis Scott song, that would have been an amazing
Just
immaculate in.
Take that one song and make that the whole album. You're done.
Yeah, just put it on loop. Just like that video.
Just that same song like 12 times.
Just like that video.
It'd be fine. It'd be perfect. Album of the year.
Album of the year, yeah.
Stamped. Ship it right there. We're good. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Listen to this album. Let me know what you think about it. Maybe you felt differently than we did. Who knows? But if you did, leave a comment down below. Like this video if you liked it. If you want early access to these, Patreon is linked in the video description, which is only $1. And don't forget to stick around and subscribe for more like this in the future. Until next one, guys. Peace.